What is up, guys? Delboy here. So, for better or for worse, Alexander Povetkin is back in the heavyweight division. If you didn't catch the news, he will be reintroduced into the WBC rankings in January, and he is also eligible to fight for WBC sanctioned fights as of the 6th of December. So, Povetkin is back. He's ranked in the IBF, he's ranked in the WBA, he's ranked in the WBO. The WBO and the WBA want Povetkin versus Christian Hamer as a final eliminator. So Povetkin is back, he's back in a big way, and the reality is, he is quite close to a really big fight. He could be fighting guys like Anthony Joshua or Joseph Parker. These are real possibilities. And again, like I said, is it for better? Is it for worse? Well, we can speculate and we can talk about that, but the reality is it's going to happen. Listen, in regards to Povetkin, I kind of feel the same way I did originally when he first tested positive. But at the same time, I've got to concede that this Povetkin case is extremely flaky. Something about it is not quite right. And essentially, I think one of two things has happened. Either the guy and his team had just bribed their way out of it, or the guy well and truly got stitched up. One of the two, because there's something about this that isn't quite right. We can go back to the first test where he tested positive for meldonium. WADA, who oversee VADA, they set the protocols. WADA cleared Povetkin of any wrongdoing in the first instance. And again, that's not me making it up. WADA did clear Povetkin of wrongdoing in the first instance. Essentially, because of the properties of that drug, meldonium, there is no way to prove if he took it before or after the cutoff date. And the reality is, in a case like that, you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the guy cheated, and they couldn't do it. I'm not saying he did cheat or he didn't cheat, but what I am saying, they couldn't prove beyond reasonable doubt that it was deliberate, because it was legal at one point, and potentially he could have taken it before that cut-off date. Also, the one thing I will say, I thought, like a lot of people thought, well, if Povetkin wasn't cheating, how did some tests sort of turn up negative and one test turn up positive and the rest turn up negative again? That's a very good point, and I thought the same thing. I've done a little bit of research online. Apparently, meldonium can, like trace amounts, could show up in different sort of circumstances, if that makes sense. So, for example, from what I read, apparently if you've been static and not really done too much, then the test might come up negative, and chances are it'll come up negative. But if you sort of do some physical activity like exercise, apparently the meldonium, the trace amounts, are more likely to come up in drug tests. Again, I'm not a drug test genius. I'm not sure if that's true, but that was one of the explanations I found online. But yeah, regardless, I'm kind of going off track here. But WADA cleared Povetkin of wrongdoing in the first instance. Hence why Povetkin got another shot at a WBC eliminator, which Team Povetkin reluctantly agreed to, because they felt that, well, we was cleared of cheating, why should we fight an eliminator? But I think it was the WBC's way of kind of sticking the finger to him. Again, I'm not saying Povetkin wasn't cheating in that first instance. All I'm saying is WADA cleared him. I have my own suspicions. And the second test is also very interesting, because I thought at this point nail was in the coffin. It's a cut and close case. And I still have my suspicions. I personally still think he did cheat. But again, I've got to talk about the facts and all the rumours or the stories I've heard. So the second test is extremely interesting as well. So he was fighting Bermane Stiverne in a final eliminator for Deontay Wilder's WBC title. And again, I think it was similar to the meldonium case, where Povetkin, he kind of tested negative for tests, and then all of a sudden failed one and tested negative again. And he tested positive for Austrian at one time. Now, this is what I've heard, and again, it could be complete nonsense, it could be rubbish, it could be fake, but this is what I've heard. The first bit is true, where Team Povetkin took that sample and they sent it to a lab in Switzerland. And a lab in Switzerland tested that sample and it came back negative. Nothing was in it. And this is where the twist happens. Apparently, and again I say apparently, the lab that originally tested Povetkin for the Stavern fight and the lab that found the positive Osterine supplement in his test, apparently that lab got closed down for its practices. And again, I saw reports online about this at the time, and I thought it was fake news, but those reports are not online anymore and I can't find them. And I thought, did I dream that or something? Or did I just see a random crazy post it on a forum? But I've been talking to a couple of people in YouTube comments, and no, that was out there at one point, that the lab got closed down for practices that were a little bit shady. So, listen, all I'm saying is this. I personally think Povetkin was cheating. I thought that before he tested positive for meldonium. I'll be completely honest. Because I saw Povetkin back when he was fighting guys like Eddie Chambers, and I saw the body shape change, I saw the power change, I saw it all. I have my suspicions about Povetkin, but the reality is, it would be remiss of me not to talk about this, because this case is extremely fishy. I don't care what anyone says, you can call me a conspiracy theorist. Either Povetkin and his team have bribed everybody and they bought the way out of it, or the guy has been stitched up. Maybe I'm being fucking harsh calling him a cheat in the first place. What if he actually got stitched up? Again, I don't know. I'm speculating. It's fun to speculate, but yeah, the reality is Povetkin's back, for better or for worse. The heavyweight division has got another world-class heavyweight. He's going to be ranked in all 4 sanctioning bodies. He is extremely close to a Joseph Parker fight, maybe even an Anthony Joshua fight. So yeah, man, what do you guys think? What do you guys make of the whole Povetkin case? I think it's extremely weird, but yeah, it is what it is, man. Povetkin's back. Again, I've got my own suspicions, but I just wanted to make this video to let you guys know. Peace.